Uh-oh. Folks are ranking the Lions the third best team in the NFC.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And a good Monday to everybody, a victory Monday here on Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network. Matt Dery with you. It's a Monday, October 9th and a Tuesday, October 10th. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. If you are watching on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, please subscribe so you can catch us each and every day. I believe we're over 8,000 subscribers. Would love to get to 9,000. But the Lions, fresh off a 42-24 win over the Carolina Panthers, sit at 4-1 atop the NFC North. They'll have a full 2-game lead over Green Bay if the Packers lose tonight. They are in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. We got a lot to talk about today. We usually do power rankings during the week, but Peter King from Football Morning in America and NBC and Pro Football Talk, Peter King's moving the Lions up. And I want to get into that coming up momentarily here on the program. Also, Pro Football Focus, top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers from yesterday's win on offense and defense. We'll go over that. A very sad injury. This kills me. Emmanuel Moseley is done for the year again. Again. Poor guy was out there for 2 plays yesterday. We'll talk about that. And also look ahead, of course, to what's in front of the Lions now. 2 tough road games coming up next. Really good tests. 4:25 on Sunday at Tampa. And then next week after that, a 1 o'clock tilt against Baltimore. Ravens offense was horrible yesterday against the Steelers, but regardless, never easy to win in Baltimore. We'll get into all of that coming up here on Locked On Lions. Matt Dery with you. Locked On Lions today is sponsored by and proudly brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. And yes, just as I was about to refresh the screen, sometimes it kicks me off, but we're back. FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On and the podcast network here. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. You can follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions. We're on Threads at The Real Matt Dery Facebook fan page. And as I said before, please check us out on YouTube. All right, so let's start with this. I loved waking up this morning and seeing Peter King writing about the Lions and talking about the Lions. Peter King is very respected. Peter King is a guy that I don't miss his column every Monday. I usually read him and Albert Breer on Sunday. I just think their NFL columns on Mondays are chock full of good information and inside stuff and insight. And today, Peter King, through 5 weeks, decided to rank in the first quartile of the season his top teams from 1 to 32. He's got San Francisco at number 1. And if you watched last night's Sunday night game, the Niners just eviscerated the Dallas Cowboys. Brock Purdy is playing at an MVP level. They got CMC. They got Debo, Fred Warner. I mean, they're just really, really good. And of course, they're number 1. Number 2 is Philadelphia. Okay, back-to-back NFC teams on this list. Eagles are 5-0. Not even playing their best football, but Jalen Hurts and company go out to LA yesterday. They take out Matthew Stafford and the Rams. They are 5-0. Miami at number 3, according to Peter King, at 4-1. The Dolphins are averaging 111 yards per game more than any other team in the league. Number 4, Kansas City at 4-1, even though that one loss was to our Lions. Chiefs sitting at 4-1. At number 5, top 5 team, not just in the NFC, in the entire NFL, the Lions at 4-1. King writes, quote, "Nothing fluky about the Lions, who have won by 14, 14, and 18 the last 3 weeks. What I like about Detroit is the defense. 293 yards allowed, 3.3 yards per rush allowed, which will keep the Lions in every game." He follows up with Dallas at 3-2, Buffalo at 3-2, Baltimore at 3-2, Seattle number 9 at 3-1, and Tampa Bay at 3-1. Lions top 5 in the NFL, top 3 in the NFC. And this was a topic that has been coming up a lot and came up a lot over the summer. It was always going to be about Philly and San Francisco, and everybody looking at the NFC title game from last year being the NFC title game for this year. Eagles and Niners, Niners and Eagles, right? You got the defending NFC champs. You got San Francisco with a healthy quarterback and Brock Purdy. Full season of Christian McCaffrey. The defense is really good. They're just so well coached. Last night, we saw Kyle Shanahan dial up the Ben Johnson double reverse flea flicker pass to the tight end streaking down the right sideline. It was the identical play that Goff hit Laporta. Niners ran it hours later with Purdy to George Kittle. And now people are starting to say it. Colin Cowherd, our executive producer, as I like to call him, the great Nathan Littke. Love Nathan Littke. Nathan sent me the audio today of Colin Cowherd on his show today saying, look, the Lions are the third best team in the NFC. They are Dallas. They've got the creative offense. They've got a really good offensive line. They've got a star quarterback. All right, everything that the Cowboys say they are, the Lions are. And when you really look at it, you cut the mustard here. I don't know why I said cut the mustard, but you know what I mean. When you cut it and slice it open, the Lions at 4-1 are playing really, really good football. They're playing great complementary football. I went on Locked On Sports Today with Peter Bukowski earlier today and just talked about it. All right. Offense, defense, special teams, the kicking game, everything's working right now. And yesterday had trap game written all over it. It had letdown written all over it. You have arguably your best defensive player out in Brian Branch. You have arguably your best offensive player out in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've got no Jahmyr Gibbs. You got guys, banged up, all right, not 100% out there playing. You lose Emmanuel Moseley in the first half. I mean, all of these things that took place, and yet the Lions blew the doors off of Carolina. And Cowherd pointed this out too. They've got a star in Aidan Hutchinson. All right. And some people maybe can be haters and everything. Aren't you glad Jacksonville, I think I said this yesterday, took Trayvon Walker and the Lions got Hutch? Thank you, Jags. Just making plays, good teammate. There's chemistry in the locker room. All of that is working. So for Peter King to come out and say, hey, Lions are a top 5 team. And I know the schedule's easy. I know the team is not facing a murderer's row at quarterback. They'll face another mediocre signal caller this weekend in Baker Mayfield, who's excelling with Tampa Bay, and they're off to a nice, cute start. And they're off a bye week. But I fully expect, the Lions are 3-point favorites. I expect the Lions to win. They're the better team. Tampa's playing well. They're physical. Their tackles are good. Like all these things. All right. It's not going to be easy for the Lions to get heat on Baker. But are they better than Dallas right now? Did you watch Dallas last night? If the Lions were to play the Niners right now, I'm not telling you they'd win. They wouldn't get embarrassed like Dallas got embarrassed last night. Last night was embarrassing for the Cowboys. Embarrassing. So pretty cool stuff to get the Lions that kind of a notoriety. And the crowd was great yesterday. And next time the Lions are at home will be that Monday nighter in 3 weeks against the Raiders. There's something about the Raiders coming in under the lights that just, and I'm going to be there. I'm going. I cannot wait. It'll be awesome. So there you go. Peter King is the Lions top 5. Only teams that he thinks are better: San Francisco, Philadelphia, Miami. And who did I say was the 4th? I'm already losing my mind here. Kansas City. Sure. Chiefs sleptwalked through their game yesterday against the Vikings. And now Justin Jefferson might be out. I mean, this division is a cakewalk. It's crazy. It's kind of like Kramer when he went on that AIDS walk on Seinfeld. AIDS walk, it's a cakewalk. All right, coming up next, got to get into those PFF grades. Who did Pro Football Focus like and dislike from yesterday's Lions victory over the Carolina Panthers? I got to give a shout out to Sarah Greifenberger. I work with Sarah. If anybody's friends with Sarah, tell her I'm mentioning her on the podcast. I work with Sarah at a company called the Q5 Experience, business succession planning and everything else. And Sarah said she went to the Lions game yesterday, and all she can do now is sing the Lions fight song. It's in her head. So shout out to Sarah. And shout out to Theo Gridiron, the singer at Ford Field. Does a great job. All right, Locked On Lions brought to you by FanDuel. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, for tonight, Raiders and Packers. Put down some money. New customers are going to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. Thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. What did I see today on FanDuel? Michigan's a 34-point favorite against Indiana this weekend. Crazy. The app is easy to use. Spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. Shout out to our everydayers that are out there that listen and subscribe to the podcast and check us out each and every day. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening and checking us out. Tell your friends about us too, right here on Locked On Lions. Tomorrow on the show, Chris Myers, the voice on the Fox NFL games, did the game this past Sunday. Chris is going to join us tomorrow. Got the Locked On crossover on Thursday, and our buddy Brad Spielberger from PFF likely to join us on Friday as well. All right, speaking of our friends at Pro Football Focus, we love PFF. Top 5 Lion performers and bottom 5 Lion performers on defense yesterday in the blowout win over the Carolina Panthers. Number 1, top defensive performer, not a real surprise, right? Aidan Hutchinson, again, 94.1 grade. Incredible. Aleem McNeil checking in at a blistering 92.1. Big time grade for Aleem McNeil. Alex Anzalone comes in third at 80.0. Thinking about Alex Anzalone, he told the media yesterday, and Justin Rogers wrote a great piece in the Detroit News. His parents right now are stranded in Israel. They're over there with their church on a trip. And I'm not going to get political, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this. It's horrible what's going on in Israel, and I'm thinking about the folks over there. But hopefully Alex's parents come home safely. Isaiah Buggs, 77.0, and Jerry Jacobs, another interception yesterday, got a 74 grade. Those are your top 5 Lion defensive performers. Bottom 5 who struggled yesterday, Jack Campbell, 31 snaps, a 33.4 grade. Benito Jones, second worst, 41.3. John Kaminsky, 43.3. Cam Sutton did not have a great game yesterday, 50.3. And Charles Harris at a 50.6. Those are the bottom 5 Lion defenders from yesterday, according to PFF. I knew this before I even opened up the website today. I knew Jared Goff was going to be the top Lion performer. He's just been so good. And I watched the play again where the ball snapped through his legs and he kind of like looked away and threw off the defense, and David Montgomery got the direct snap and ran for a first down. What a play call from Ben Johnson, but a great acting job and execution of the play from the Lions quarterback, Jared Goff. 93.9 grade yesterday, second best on the team overall. Josh Reynolds, 91.3 grade. Graham Glasgow still filling in for Halapoulivaati Vaitai at a 91.1. That's a great sign and great to see. Craig Reynolds, come on, Craig, 85.2 in his 13 snaps, and Penei Sewell, 84.2. Those are your top 5 Lion performers from Pro Football Focus on offense. All right, don't shoot the messenger. Don't get mad. I know where this is going to go. I know what some of you are going to say. Oh, here he goes again, hating on J-Mo. Blah, blah, blah. Jameson Williams was the lowest graded Lions offensive player yesterday. 28 snaps, 47.4 grade. Run blocking was pretty good. Brock Wright, 49.6. Jonah Jackson, 53.1. He could be iffy for Sunday. He's in a walking boot right now. Antoine Green, 55.4. And Marvin Jones, a surprise, 35 snaps, a 57.2 grade for Marvin Jones. By the way, Dylan Drummond was dressed yesterday and got 5 snaps on offense. So those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lions offensive performers. And I'll say it again. Jared Goff getting a 93.9 deserves all the accolades that he's receiving. Remember, this was a guy a couple of years ago that the LA Rams discarded, did not want, kicked on the way out of town. And he's just, and I said this yesterday on the postgame pod, he's just performing at a very high level. You know, he's comfortable, he's confident, playing with a little chip on his shoulder. He's not turning the ball over. Yesterday, 3 touchdown passes, a touchdown on the ground, no turnovers. You play clean football like that, and you've got a quarterback that just has everybody kind of involved in a good rhythm. And again, no real top deep threat. Right? I think Jameson Williams will eventually one day hopefully be that. You don't have Amon-Ra St. Brown yesterday. Gibbs doesn't play. All right. You got a rookie tight end, and I know that Sam Laporta is just killing it. All right. He has been fantastic so far for this team. But what Jared Goff is doing is special. And he's playing at a very high level. And I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I think Brad Holmes needs to lock him up long term. I think this is the guy. I do. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the year. I don't know if he's going to get into a playoff game and they win the division and he gags it away. All right. I don't know. But I'm telling you, each week you see the progression. You see him get better. You see him make all the throws. No, he's not running around and scrambling and tucking and running for 25 yards. He's not the elusive, Jalen Hurts, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, any of these college quarterbacks that are these dual threat guys. All Jared Goff does is win. And if Ben Johnson's the right OC for him and Ben Johnson eventually leaves and becomes the head coach somewhere like in New England or Chicago or something, Lions will figure it out. This brass, this coaching staff is deep and they seem to figure it out. And I just love everything about what this team is doing right now. All right. And they're like Peter King said, they're clubbing people. They're winning by double figures. Fans are able to leave early or go to the bar early at Ford Field and enjoy themselves. Yesterday was enjoyable. They're going to play a close game. There's going to be a game that's going to come down to Riley Patterson's foot or something like that. But right now at 4-1, playing the schedule that's out there, they've already gone to Kansas City and won. They've gone to Green Bay and won. All right. I know this isn't Aaron Rodgers led Packers or Brett Favre led Packers or Bart Starr or Vince Lombardi, but who cares? Lions went in there and led by 24 at halftime. And a lot of credit goes to the quarterback. You've got to have one. Patriots have Mac Jones. He's no good. Patriots had Tom Brady. They were real good. Right? That's normally how it goes. All right. Sad news to report on Emmanuel Moseley. This is just terrible. We will get into that coming up next. I absolutely hate it for this guy. But we got to tell you about our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. It is so easy to create a free job post on LinkedIn Jobs. You create the post, then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. They've got simple tools as well, like screening questions. Make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and who you'd like to hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right. So yesterday we saw it. And it just, this sucks, right? I don't know Emmanuel Moseley. All right. He was signed to a 1-year deal for like $5 million from San Francisco this offseason. It was a starting cornerback complement to Cam Sutton and a guy that could push Jerry Jacobs. Very, very accomplished football player, veteran, can really do the job. And he was coming back from a torn ACL last year. with the Niners and signed with the Lions, and he was back and healthy and finally making his debut yesterday as the Lions hosted the Panthers. Emmanuel Moseley is out for the year again. He has torn his right ACL. 2 plays in. 2 snaps in. Think about that for a second. You tear your left anterior cruciate ligament in your in your knee last season. You rehab. You're in a cast. You're on crutches. You rehab. You work so hard. You don't even get to be in training camp. You don't get to play in the preseason. You're working on the side. You can't be out there with your teammates. You finally get cleared by the trainers and doctors to play. And 2 plays in, you tear the other knee ACL. God, that sucks for him. And I've never been through something like this, so I can't say that I understand or anything else. But, man, you got to feel for a guy like that. Emmanuel Moseley is still young. He's like 26. Hopefully he'll come back. But, boy, this is just terrible. Now, again, Lions cornerbacks, Brian Branch will come back from that ankle injury. Will Harris had a good game yesterday. He's a solid veteran backup. Jerry Jacobs is starting to pick it up. The Lions like Chase Lucas. They've got others, on the practice squad and such. Khalil Dorsey apparently is going to be back soon. But, man, this sucks for Emmanuel Moseley. You wanted to see him play. Finally got out there yesterday. And he tears his right ACL. Horrible. You feel for a kid like that. You really do. So, shout out to him. We're thinking about him. He'll go on the injured reserve list. You got to figure that the Lions will go out and sign another cornerback to the practice squad, elevate, Stephen Gilmore or something like that. That just sucks for Emmanuel Moseley. So we're thinking about him. All right, final thing. Lions are 3-point favorites going into Tampa Bay on FanDuel against the Bucs. Something that Peter King pointed out. I was watching a little bit of the Tampa Bay, Minnesota film from earlier in the year. But Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gadecki right now, the left and right tackles for Tampa Bay, are really setting the tone for that team. It's one of the reasons why the Bucs are 3-1 is that they're mauling people up front and their tackles are really good. And when we do the crossover on Thursday, I'm really interested in seeing how Aidan Hutchinson, who has been moved around a lot, has been really getting to the quarterback. Aidan Hutchinson against the Bucs tackles this Sunday is going to be something to watch. And by the way, I was wrong. Apparently, Eagles-Jets is the Kevin Burkhardt national game. Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth are calling the Lions and Bucs Sunday. They moved the game to 4:25, I guess, to have it in more households or make it more of a bigger game, but it's not the Fox doubleheader feature game. But it's still later in the afternoon at 4:25. But it'll be interesting to watch and see how Hutch, Charles Harris, Romeo Quara, Kaminsky, all these guys do. Pascal could be coming back this week against the Tampa Bay offensive line. They've been winning games up front. And certainly as well, Mike Evans has had a good start to the year. They always utilize their tight ends well down in Tampa Bay. And we'll see how this game goes. Bucs are a surprise 3-1 team. I've never been a huge fan of Baker Mayfield. I've never been a huge fan of their coach down there. But so far, they're off to a 3-1 start. So we'll see how that goes this Sunday. I know there's going to be plenty of Lion fans making the trek. Boy, Lion fans have been everywhere this year in terms of the road games. All right, so Chris Myers tomorrow from Fox was on the call this past Sunday. Will join us. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for being to our everydayers out there that watch us or listen to us each and every day. The commenters on YouTube, I love you guys. I see everything you write. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. Whether it's nice or not, it's appreciated. Right here on Locked On Lions, your team every day.